Today's show brought to you by redcon1.com. That's right. Click the link at the bottom of the podcast app in which you are listening to this on. Check them out. Use promo code T20Quartermiss. That's right. redcon1.com.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee.
Coming to you from the DTOM Studios in the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon. This is Don't Tread on Merica. Come on.
There's a difference of opinion, what's self-evident and true. We the people are no longer doing what you tell us to. How are men created equal, giving up the land with a crown, while I'm pledging my allegiance to a flag that's upside down.
Everybody, how is everybody doing out there today? Does that sound all right? Good? We good? Yeah? Okay. How's everybody doing out there today? It is Thursday, September 18, 2025. That show's brought to you in part by Kellogg. No. It's my radio voice. All right, guys, if you can tell, if you're watching this on Rumble on Don't Tread on America TV, you can see that I'm very animated. And you know why that is? I actually got off of work today at a decent time. So I was able to go to the gym today, and what that entails is pre-workout, Total War, obviously, from redcon1.com. Check them out. I'm a little hyped up right now, which is dangerous because of the show I'm going to talk about today. And the title of today's show is The Grand Illusion, Unmasking the Grand Illusion, the greatest deception ever told. So it's going to be a fiery show, guys, I'm telling you right now. But before we get to all that, guys, please, if you stumbled upon this show and you're new here, please make sure you follow the show, you subscribe, whatever that button is on the podcast app you're listening to this on, because you know what? It's free. There's no Patreons, there's no PayPal walls, there's no bullshit. I'm not going to get halfway through and leave you hanging and say, if you want to hear the rest, go to our Patreon and pay me $100. I'm not doing that. You know why? Because this information needs to be heard. And I don't want anybody to be like, times are tough right now. I don't know if I have the money. I guess I just won't know what happened. That's fine. That's fine. You're going to know what happens because I don't do that bullshit. I have sponsors. You can help me out by going to them. If you want to help me out also, you can go to the DTOM Store. Buy you a t-shirt, buy you a hat, buy a teddy bear. I don't care. And I don't even take a profit from that. I give that to Tunnels of Towers. What you're doing there is you're representing the brand. You're part of the DTOM Army. Right? And you can be walking around proudly and you can say, I'm part of the DTOM Army. And we can get this thing going in the DTOM Army by cranking it up a little bit on a Thursday with a little bit of Damn Yankees, courtesy of one Ted Theodore Nugent, close personal friend of the show, and a patriot himself. This is the Don't Tread on America version. So please sing along, crank it up, rip the knob off with your drive home or drive to work, whenever you listen to this. So while you're at work, maybe. Hell, I don't know. Guys, please make sure you follow the show on social media. Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social on the Ticker Talker, and of course, the Twitter X Machine, DTOM Podcast 1776. Come on, sing along, guys. You know it. Merica. Merica. Come on, sing along. Merica. All right, guys. Welcome to Don't Tread on Merica. And this one is going to be a good one, guys. I already told you this. We're going to peel back the layers of the Matrix and stare into the abyss of deception. Of course, I am your host, Donq, and today, this morning, whenever you're listening to this, this is a timeless, what I consider a timeless broadcast. You have about, I say timeless, today's the 18th. You got about 5 days to listen to this because this is going to be concluded with another broadcast. Anyway, we're tackling the mother of all conspiracies, the grand illusion. Not just a theory, but the framework holding up every lie, every single lie you've ever been told. From the spinning ball they call Earth to the stars they say are unreachable. From staged pandemics to elites' hidden wars. It's all part of one massive psyop designed to keep you small, scared, and compliant. What if everything you know about reality is carefully crafted hologram? A simulation run by unseen architects to harvest your energy, your fear, your very soul. Today, we'll connect the dots. Ancient philosophies twisted into modern control. Recent events that scream scripted. And that burning question about NASA's 31/Atlas comet. It's a natural wanderer, is it a natural wanderer or a harbinger of their next big reveal? Buckle up, guys, because this is going to be a very interesting talk of unfiltered truth. No commercials until we've cracked the facade. So let's dive in here in just a second. I made a big ass glass of whiskey. If you're watching this on Rumble on DontTreadonMericaTV, you see that sucker. Look at that. That thing is huge. That's like, what, 5 fingers? 4 fingers? 4 chubby fingers? I'm going to need it. Popped an Alp. Got the new spearmint in. We'll talk about that later. So let's take a breath. And let's compose ourselves. Listen to a little bit of this song. And then we're going to get to it. Because I have another song for you. From DTOM Studio. No, you guys don't like them. Whatever. I think they're awesome. Anyway. Hang tight. We'll get to it here in just a minute, guys. Yes, that was The Grand Illusion by Styx. And oddly enough, call me a nerd. That song gave me the idea for this show. If you guys are old like me and you know you like Styx, I actually like Styx. I heard that song the other day on the radio. And I was like listening to the lyrics. Like if you like Styx, if you kind of like Styx, listen to that song. Listen to the lyrics, and you'll understand exactly where we're going today. Picture this. You're born in a world where the sky's the limit. but that limits a lie. The grand illusion isn't new. It's as old as humanity's first spark of curiosity. Plato's cave. That's the blueprint. Shadows on the wall. Prisoners chained. Mistaking flickers for truth. Fast forward to today. Your TV, your phone, your news feed, quotation marks. It's all the same cave, upgraded with algorithms and AI. But who built the cave? Let's start with the basics. The Illuminati, Freemasons, ancient bloodlines, call them what you will. They've been puppeteering history since Babylon. Wars, staged for profit and population control. Economies, Ponzi schemes to keep you grinding. And science, the crown jewel of deception. Take gravity, not some magical force pulling you down, but density and buoyancy in action. No need for a spinning globe hurling through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's just Hollywood CGI to make you feel insignificant. Speaking of which, the Earth, flat, enclosed under a firmament, just like the ancients knew it. NASA, founded by Operation Paperclip, Nazis, occultists in lab coats, siphoning trillions to fake space. The moon landing, Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, filmed in a studio. Satellites, high-altitude balloons with fisheye lenses. Why? To disconnect you from the divine order. To sell you on a cold, empty universe where God's a myth and you're a cosmic accident. Once you buy that, every other lie slides in easy. Evolution over creation. Big Bang over intelligent design. But it's deeper. The illusion feeds on your energy. Fear from pandemics, division from politics. It's all emotional harvesting. Remember COVID? Not a virus run wild, but a global dry run for compliance, lockdowns, masks, jabs. Test the waters for total control. And now, in 2025, with Trump back in the mix, conspiracies are exploding. Flat Earth dismissed as a psyop. Nah, the globe is the psyop. A CIA distraction to muddy the waters. William Casey, the CIA director under Reagan, nailed it. We'll know our disinformation is complete when everything the public believes is false. Those were his words in 1984. We've got whistleblowers galore. David Icke's reptilians, shape-shifting elites pulling strings, QAnon's awakening, great awakening, half-truths to wake the sleepers without full disclosure, and religions hijacked. The Vatican vaults hide extraterrestrial treaties, ancient tech, Enoch's watchers, fallen angels bound for 500 years. That clock is ticking down now. Folks, we're at the end of their reign. And this segment also. So hang tight so we can pay some bills around here. When I come back, we'll dive into NASA. Oh, yes. We'll be right back in just a second. All right, guys, unlock your online freedom with DTOM. Tired of online restrictions, risky Wi-Fi, or trackers following your every click? With NordVPN, you're in control. Get military-grade encryption, blazing fast speeds, and access to over 6,300 servers in 111 countries. Stream your favorite shows, game securely, or browse worry-free on up to 6 devices with one account. Plus, NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro blocks ads, trackers, and malware for a smoother, safer experience. Right now, save up to 74% on a 2-year plan, plus get 4 extra months free with promo code DTOM at NordVPN.com. That's as low as $2.99 a month. Try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't wait. Secure your internet today with NordVPN. Visit NordVPN.com and use promo code DTOM to unlock the deal. We'll be right back here in just a moment. All right, guys, we're back, and we're just warming up. If the foundations are illusion, the pillars are the big deceptions: space, money, and power. So let's zoom in on space, or lack thereof, and a commercial, just in case you didn't know. We're going to do that because, you know, I just did a commercial, but let's do another commercial. Guess this is what we get for having free music playing in the background, right in the middle of my shit. No one wants your shit. No one wants your shit, Granger. Just, God damn it. No. Play. Jesus Christ. Yes. All right. Back to what. Let's zoom in on space, or lack thereof. NASA's not exploring, it's deceiving. Did you guys know that the Hebrew word for NASA, the definition, is to deceive? Now you might be thinking, no, it's not NASA. It's National Aeronautical Space Administration, or whatever. Well, what does it mean in Hebrew? So here's the deal. Some Christians explain the word NASA means to deceive, seduce, or lead astray. So here's how it's spelled. This is in Genesis 3:13. And the Lord God saith unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat it. Notice the word beguiled there. If you look it up in your Strong's Concordance, you'll find this Hebrew word, which means, so nashal, a primitive root, to lead astray, to delude, or to seduce. Beguiled is to deceive greatly and utterly. And it's interesting how these people, these individuals, do this to us. And we don't think anything about it, because they can say a word like NASA, and they can make it an acronym and say, oh, it's National Aeronautical Space Administration, or whatever it is. But it's interesting how they can put these letters together to make you think that it means something when what it really means is what it is. Billions poured into green screens and zero-gravity planes. Why hide the firmament? Well, because it proves creation. A dome above, waters below, biblical truth they can't spin. Enter UFOs, not aliens, but black budget drones prepping Project Bluebeam, holographic invasions, fake messiahs in the sky to usher in one world tyranny. Serge Monast warned us back in the 90s. Now you might be asking, who's Serge? Serge. It's Serge. Serge, whatever. He's a Canadian conspiracy theorist. He was mostly known for his promotion of Project Bluebeam, a conspiracy theory which creates a plot to facilitate a totalitarian world government by destroying Abrahamic religions and replacing them with the New Age belief system using futuristic NASA technology, and involving a faked alien invasion or fake God damn, I can't even say the word right now. E.T. encounter meant to deceive nations into uniting under a new world government. And we'll touch on that here in a little bit with the 31 Atlas situation. You guys may have heard about this. Maybe you haven't, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, after Serge made these comments, he died shortly thereafter. Interestingly enough, at the age of 51. Unexplained. We have no idea why or how he died. But he's dead. And it brings you back to the situation that just happened a week ago. When anybody, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is, if you speak out against these people, you meet an untimely death. And I'm not going to get into all the conspiracy theories once again about Charlie Kirk and who, what, when, where, how. We've discussed that, and that's still an ongoing story. But just think about the things, the people, the world leaders that have been killed. That these influencers. I mean, we use that word nowadays because of TikTok and whatnot. But Charlie Kirk was a major, and still is, even though he's passed, a major influencer for people in Christ. But you can even think back as far as, Martin Luther King, hell, John Lennon. These individuals who spoke truth to the masses and had a big following that were silenced. Why do you think that is? You look at money, for example. Fiat currencies, the ultimate scam. Our money is backed by absolutely nothing. Central banks, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, printing debt to enslave all of us. The 2025's crypto boom. Governments buying into control, decentralization, phasing out real freedom. Gold spikes. They're hoarding it for the reset. Power. Elites like Soros, Gates, those types of people. Depopulation agendas via vaccines, chemtrails, 5G. FogVid24. You guys recall that from last year? Late last year, early this year? That chemical fog across the U.S. Not weather, but a bioweapon test. And elections? Theater. Trump's return? Elevating fringe theories to normalize the absurd. Flat Earth in Congress? It's coming. And when I say elections are theater, just if you're my age, I'm 52, so if you're 40 to 60 years old, think back through the last 10 elections. And it's always interesting to me how it always goes, in America anyway. Republican for 8 years, Democrat for 8 years. Republican for 8 years, Democrat. And explain to us that whoever that president is at the time, Reagan, Bush, let's say that was a 12-year run. So you had you went from Ford, Republican, Carter, Democrat, Reagan, 12 years essentially, to Clinton, 8 years, Bush, 8 years, Obama, 8 years, Trump 4, Biden 4, Trump current. And it always goes back and forth. And the excuse that we're told is that, the Republican blah, 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 didn't align with the American populace and da-da-da-da-da, so they wanted to change. But the funny thing about that is your Congress, the people that actually kind of control things, regardless of who that president is, always stays kind of even. Recent ties. LA protest in June. Immigrant raids. YMO taxis burning. Those are your non-driver or self-driving taxis they have in California. Staged to push division. Revive old psyops. The Texas floods back in July. Geoengineering, not nature. Far-right screaming government weather control. And then you look at sports. If you remember this past year, the Super Bowl, when they prior to Super Bowl, it was probably 4, 5, 6 weeks of the NFL season left, and they said, okay, the Super Bowl is going to be, I don't even remember what city it was in. Here's the logo. And it had colors. And everyone's like, oh, okay, well, that's obviously going to be these two teams because the colors are in the logo. And then you look back at the last handful of logos, and they all fit. And it's like, you don't think about these things. Because they're literally telling you everything they're going to do. And we don't think about it. We just accept it. And the NFL is doing this for profit. All distractions from the real shift. Consciousness is awakening. The new age, infiltrated PSYOP, fake galactics, Oster Command, Greys, and CIA rerouting your awakening to fluff. True disclosure. The Galactic Federation's real, but they're blocking the fakes. And when I say, you think, what is this, Star Trek? Think about it, guys. I'm telling you, television, TV shows, programming, these things were put in place because, we had radio, we had newspaper, but it wasn't as demanding or controlling as they wanted it to be. Television wraps you in. And now you have television on your phone, and that's even worse than the television set in your living room. Because how many people are glued to their phones on a regular basis? Because it's a way for them to control you. No matter what your thought process is, whether you think of things this way or that way, you fall into an algorithm, you watch the TV shows, the television programs that align with what your thought process is. And then you watch that and it justifies your thinking. I can't even have a discussion with people about flat Earth. And I didn't really stumble upon my thoughts on flat Earth. I was probably just like everyone else. The world's round. What are you talking about? The world's round. The world's round. The world's round. And then you start really digging into it. And you think, back in the 40s, back in the 30s, 40s, when movies were prevalent prior to television, Universal Studios was one of your major studios. It was even more major back then. And they had, beginning of the movie, the same as now, you would see a globe spinning the world. But no one ever asked the question. You just don't think about it. You just see it and you just, oh, there's the Earth. Oh. How do they know the topography of the Earth before we could even travel into space? Because it was a pre-planned event to get you away from God. You think about it. Back in the 40s, 50s, people went to church. Let me stop for a second. I personally am not a big proponent of church, especially today, these days, because I feel that the people that run churches of whatever denomination, I don't care the religion, I don't care if you're Christian, Islamic, whatever, Muslim, I don't care, okay? I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ, and He is my Savior, and that's all that matters to me. Church is here. Church is within, okay? Church nowadays, the buildings that you see in your neighborhoods, they're, in my opinion, more for money gathering. Oh, you got to pay, you have to give 10%, you have to tithe 10% to the church. Why? What is the church doing with that money? Jesus Christ isn't taking donations. So that's my personal belief. Now, if you go to church to hear the word of God and to follow in Jesus Christ, that's fine. I'm not knocking you for that. That's just my personal opinion. Okay? But 80 years ago, church was a staple. Religion in this country was a staple. And these individuals knew that in order to divide the world, not just this country, but the world, the things that we see going on in America right now isn't just an American thing. This is a world thing. Look at what's going on in England right now. This is a world situation of division. The things they allow to happen in these countries isn't because a certain group of people in England are rising up against the government because they're pissed off about things. They're allowed to do that because it sows division in a country. And I just had this conversation with someone on Facebook earlier today because, you know, there's a friend of mine, you know, they always post, he's right-leaning, so he's always posting that stuff, and then he has left-leaning friends on there that go against the grain, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I simply said, this is what they want. This is the plan. Division is to constantly divide us as a people, whatever country. Obviously, I'm talking about what's going on in America currently, but if you live in England, if you live in Europe, you can understand because these same things are happening in your country. They actually saw Charlie Kirk as a lightning rod against their plan. And I'm not necessarily just talking about Israel or Benjamin Netanyahu or anything like that. It's a grand plan. And when you have someone that, like Charlie Kirk, for example, that can create such a following of people behind Christ, much like Martin Luther King. Forget about what Martin Luther King's personal life, you know, everyone has their demons. We're all sinners. Okay? His word is what united people in this country back in the 60s. They killed him. Malcolm X, the same thing. He warned us against the government and white liberals, to be exact. They killed him. I don't care who they say killed him. I don't care about Tyler, or as I call him, Lee, or the person, you know, James Earl Ray that killed King. But even if you even get away from the political or religious aspects, look at someone like John Lennon, who was a voice of freedom in this country, in this world, because he wasn't just talking about in America. They killed him because people were listening to what he had to say. Not that John Lennon was going to be some kind of world crusader and a world leader per se in politics. He was a influencer before the word became popular. And people followed that. And what's the best way to stop that is to kill them. Like I said, we're not going to dive into the more conspiracy theories on Kirk and how and who and why and what possibly transpired prior to his untimely death. But just look at the end of what actually happened, regardless of who did what. They killed him. And I use the word they because every time someone talks about it, his wife, Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump, they will pay. They will this. The evildoers, plural, meaning more than one. We are led to believe, and we're talking about Kirk, we're led to believe that one person did this, but anytime anyone talks about it, it's in plural. It's plural. Pluralities. And if he, Tyler Lee Oswald, did this, there's no they, it's a he. It's a him. It's a guy. It's one person, allegedly. They almost can't help but tell you the truth, but then they try to deceive you from it. Everything that goes on is a psyop. And then the news media multiplies that. No matter who you watch or listen to, you're going to have one side saying it's a political whatever. You're going to have another side saying it's martyrism. whatever. They're just playing the sides to divide us more. George Floyd's death, whether it was pre-planned or just happenstance and they used it, possible. But let's take a breather here for a second, guys, and I'll be back just a second after these words from Alp nicotine pouches. All right. All right, guys. Craving a cleaner, smokeless nicotine experience? Discover Alp nicotine pouches, the ultimate way to enjoy bold flavors and lasting satisfaction anytime, anywhere. With Alp, you get premium tobacco-free pouches in refreshing mint, wintergreen, sweet nectar, tropical fruit, and now spearmint. I got mine. I ordered it Sunday, got it yesterday. 2 days? Monday, Tuesday, got here Wednesday. Pretty good. Get a 5-pack, $24. It's actually pretty good. It's packed with quality. Alp pouches fit your lifestyle, whether you're at work, on the go, or chilling out. Right now, new customers can save 10% on their first order at alppouch.com/DTOM. That's right. Visit alppouch.com/DTOM. Grab your favorite flavors starting at just $24.95 and enjoy a smokeless revolution. Don't miss out. Stock up on Alp nicotine pouches and save 10%. Go to alppouch.com/DTOM. Order now for a fresher, better time. All right, we're back. Now, I know we've hit some pretty heavy stuff here, and hopefully I haven't lost y'all on the flat earth thing. But illusions cracking. Now, recent events tying this all together. 2025 has been a wild ride so far. Start with geopolitical theater, Middle East peace deals, staged for resources, hiding military agendas, Israel-Iran-U.S. clashes, choreographed distractions for oil and power grabs, and Project 2025, not conspiracy, Heritage Foundation's blueprint to gut government, fire civil servants, torpedo climate action for elite control. UFO disclosures, prime for blue beam. And that's something else I wanted to dive into. In this country, I don't know about the world, but I'm going to focus on America here for a second as far as the UFO culture is concerned. So what was that? 1947? I'm thinking. Roswell, right? For 70 plus years, we were told we were crazy. You're not seeing UFO. It's a weather balloon. It's this. It's a shooting star. It's whatever. Now, I'm not saying that it's UFOs, people from another, or aliens from another planet. I'm more on lines with the black budget probes. If you ever listen to the show I did, Donq, about, part of Operation Paperclip at NASA, that's a good show if you want to listen to it, go back and look at it. But I feel the technology was found, created, and staged, and that's what some would even lead you to believe that World War II was actually about, gaining that technology. And then you have to ask, well, why would they want it? Well, it's for this Project Bluebeam, and we did a show on that also. Rose, Coulthard, Luis Elizondo, insiders saying time short, cyclical events incoming. Elon Musk, Robert Bigelow whispering of resets. Axial precisions, solar micronovas, natural cataclysms hidden by flat earth disinfo. And it made me think of the movie Transformers, The Revenge of the Fallen. And I know it's a movie, Don. It's about fucking robots, blah, blah, blah. It's not about who or what was in the movie. It's the message the movie sent. Like at the beginning of the show, I said the Matrix. Not saying that we're plugged in like Neo was, but I saw an interesting thing, and I'm not a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think he's controlled opposition. I think his purpose in life is to persuade you to not believe what you should believe. And the only reason I say that is in having conversations or trying to have conversations with people about flat Earth, they always quote or bring up Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm like, yeah, of course you're gonna quote him, but whatever. He was, I don't know if it was his podcast or what it was, but he was talking to Lawrence Fishburne, right? He played Morpheus in The Matrix, and simply put, even Lawrence Fishburne said that movie was about God. And we didn't even see it like that. But that's exactly what it was about, God and Jesus Christ. I don't know any other way to just open your eyes that we have these movies that come out, these blockbuster movies, and they're literally telling you everything that you need to hear. And we don't look at it as that. We look at it as a good movie. I like Keanu Reeves. That's a good movie. I like Mark Wahlberg or what's the other guy? The other guy that was in the Transformer movies. That guy. And I'm not a big movie guy, so whatever. Anyway, you think about it, and it's like, we don't think about it. It's just entertainment, Don. You're crazy. It's just entertainment. No, it's like they have to tell you what the truth is, but they disguise it in entertainment. The song I was playing earlier, The Grand Illusion by Styx. It's just a song, Don. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't it? Like I said, I encourage you to go listen. If you haven't listened to that song in a long time, go listen to it. And really listen to it. But the big one, NASA's 31 Atlas concerns. Now, this was discovered earlier this year, July 1st, by Atlas in Chile. Atlas is a interstellar radar system, essentially. Initially, it was described to us as an interstellar comet. Third confirmed, actually, closest to the sun, oddly enough, on October 30th. Passes Mars on October 3rd, outgassing CO2, water, and CO. Normal comet stuff. But Avi Loeb, Harvard's wild card, says its nuclear-powered alien probe may be deploying mini probes to Earth. Now, what did I grab something? What is this one here? That's that. Okay, so what is this? So, this alleged probe, I'm going to play this clip. Let me pause the music here. Boop. Now, this is interesting, and this kind of goes back to the whole Project Bluebeam situation. Now, listen to this real quick here.
It's interesting. Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
So now, that was off of Newsmax. And I'm not saying that I believe that it's an alien craft. What I'm trying to tell you is they're putting that out there to have us wonder. What is this thing that they're seeing? Well, I can't sit here and tell you that I don't believe in UFOs and aliens, but I believe that this is an interstellar craft, blah, 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 right? So what is this thing? Is it nothing? Or just an idea to put this idea in your head of an alien invasion so that if come October, whatever date, something happens, you'll be like, oh my God, it's happening. NASA debunks it looks like a comet and does comet things. Representative Anna Paulina Luna pushing watch ties a UAP task force, but conspiracies rage. Fact checks call out TikTok hosts of a surprise attack in November of 2025. The JST, which is the James Webb Space Telescope, sees green hue, dicarbon unlocking, or a tech signature. This fits the illusion. Drip feed extraterrestrial contact to prep blue beam. ESA's Juice Mars Express is watching also. A coordinated cover. Lobes no fringe. Omanamamua. Which is, I don't do words very well. His first confirmed interstellar object detected passing through the solar system. This was back in 2017, was discovered by Canadian Robert Wyrick using Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii on the 19th of October in 2017, approximately 40 days after it passed its closest point to the sun. On the 9th of September, when it was first observed, it was about 33 million kilometers, or 21 million miles, from Earth, and already heading away from the sun. And I would imagine, I wasn't really big into this stuff 8 years ago, but I would imagine it was much of the same thing. But was the last probe of something? 31 Atlas, possibly. Time for a Halloween, ritualistic situation. Ties to Enoch's 500-year bind ending. Fallen ones, Transformer movie, returning as saviors. Twitter is buzzing. Posts linking it to grand psyops, alien distractions amid riots, bank runs. One user said on Twitter, alien entities, glowing skies, all synced with war drums. Another one, NASA's hiding fleets. Real contact has already happened. Interesting. Let me read this last commercial real quick. I'm not even going to play any music. We're going to just go through it. Almost through. And we'll be back right after this break. Hang in there. Fuel up, I should say, with W Energy Drink. Zero crash, all focus. Perfect for these marathon conversations. Use promo code DTOM to get 10% off at W.GG. America runs on energy. Don't let the divide drain yours. All right, we're back. So, we're in the end game, folks. The illusion's fraying. How do we shatter it? Discernment. Question everything. Media's the mouthpiece. I've been quoting this for years. Illusory truth effect. Repeat lies until they're fact. Social media is echo chambers, but also truth leaks from these. Twitter posts expose the script. Billions spent to vilify conspiracy theories. Isolate dissenters. The spiritual angle? All is mind. The grand illusion of one. Kabbalah principles, variation, polarity. Elites invert them for control. But awakening? DNA activation? Stargate within. So I guess what it breaks down to is this. Reject the false light. Lucifer's reveal via blue beam won't stick. Collectives commercial. This music I use has so many fucking commercials. Alright, skip. Let's go. It's like right in the middle trying to wrap this thing up. We got a fucking commercial. QAnon's infiltration is exposed. New Age psyops called out. Trump era declassed. Epstein list, 9/11 files, but selective to build trust, then betray us. 31 Atlas finale. If it's a probe, it's their mistake. Exposing the game too soon. Watch for a November reappearance. That's when illusions peak. But remember, source wins. No throne for the fallen. Guys, I've stumbled upon some more stuff that I'm going to do on a show this weekend. And it involves what some people are saying is coming next week. September 23rd into the 24th. Now, I'm in the middle of putting this together, so I don't want to speak too much on it. But there are some serious prophecies foretold in the Bible. And then there's some actions that are actually going to be taking place in Israel that have already started. And oddly enough, no one's talking about it. I'm not talking about what's going on with Gaza. I mean, that's part of it because that's got to happen for this to happen. For this thing I'm going to talk about on Sunday. But it'll only be available on my Patreon. So if you want to go there, go to Donq. I'm joking. just follow the show and you'll see it. But it's interesting because I can't help but wonder. Is this all just a big nothing burger? But seriously, if you think I'm crazy to believe, oh, this guy's fucking nuts, he believes in flat earth, this dude's fucking off his rocker, he's drinking too much whiskey, you're not wrong. And like I said, up until about 3-4 years ago, I would have probably said the same thing. Until I actually started doing a little research. And my simple conclusion to flat earth, to anybody that wants to talk to me about it, is prove to me that it's round. They could say, well, prove to me that it's flat. Well, you know what? I can't. Neither can you. All you can do is show me what you've been shown by these people. I can argue the other side just as well as you can argue this. And I don't want to hear anything on mathematic equations, blah, blah, blah. They've made these mathematical equations to fit the narrative. Mathematical equations are no different than writing a story. If 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4, that's pretty basic. But when you start throwing letters and numbers and X's and Y's and, explanation points, I don't know shit about shit, but I guarantee you could teach me that and I would be like, yeah, it's what it is. It's right here, black and white. X, Y = B and times C, and it comes out to be 4 or whatever. I remember, you think back to algebra. It's like, what is X? Well, X is 4. Sure. Sure it is. Whatever. And it was like, I never grabbed the concept of algebra or calculus. I passed, but it was still like, I don't know. I'm just writing what they taught me. And that's the whole point. We just regurgitate what we're taught. We regurgitate what we're shown. Here's the globe. This is what it looks like. And they slip. They slip more than they realize. Or maybe they don't slip. Maybe they are purposely showing you what you don't want to believe you see. And then you hear crazy people like me saying what I'm saying, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I thought this dude was cool, but he's fucking talking about the earth being flat. I don't know that it is. I don't know that it isn't. And one question, when I first started down this journey 3 or 4 years ago, me and Chris used to have this conversation. And my question was, why would they lie? For thousands of years, they believed the earth was flat, until all of a sudden, they wanted everyone to believe that it was round. And my question was to Chris, and I'm not saying he's a believer. He's has an open mind. Let's put it that way. My simple question to him was, why would they lie about it? What does it matter if it's flat or if it's round? And his response to me was this. You're stupid. No. His response to me was this. The Bible tells us that the earth is flat. Now, if you're a round earth person, you could simply say, well, they didn't know. It was the Bible. It was thousands of years ago. They didn't know. They didn't have the technology to know. They did have the technology to know. It's called God. God could tell you exactly what it was or is. So my question was, why would they lie? Well, if it's written in the Bible that the earth is flat and there's a firmament above, then it makes sense that they would want to lie to divide us, once again, from God's word. Now, I'm not the most godly man. I've sinned on top of sin. But he knows where I stand in life, and that's all that really matters to me. The simple conclusion here is that open your mind, open your eyes, and open your heart, and ask the question, why do these people constantly lie to us and divide us? The simple answer is this. There was a scene in the movie Ants. I saw this the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, and I meant to grab it and play it for you guys, but I totally forgot until just now, so you're welcome. The scene was, there's a scene in there, I guess there were crickets, I'm guessing, and they were picking on the ants, and the leader of the crickets there was talking to his men, and the guys were like, oh, they're just little tiny ants. What can they do? What are they can? And he opens up, I think it was like an acorn shoot, and it hits the guy with one of the crickets with an acorn. He's like, did that hurt? He's like, nah, it's just a little acorn. It doesn't hurt me. And he hits him with another one. Did that hurt? Nah, come on. What are you trying to do? Well, that represents one ant. Oh, yeah, you're proving my point. They're just little ants. What are they going to do? And he opens the chute, and the fucking thing just bum rushes him with these acorns and buries them all. Did that hurt? And the guy's like, yeah, that hurt. That's the point. That was the point of the cricket general trying to hold the ants down and divide them. Once again, in a movie, it's a cartoon, Don. It's the message. It's not what you see. It's what you hear. It's the message. The whole point of that scene was to hold the ants down, to divide them amongst themselves so they wouldn't unite and come at the small group of leaders, whether it's in this country or your country. This world has, almost 8 billion people. How many of those people lead the world? This country alone, 330 some odd million people. If you say there's 200 million adults and maybe 0.1% are our quote-unquote leaders, what do you think that means to them? If 200 million adults in this country actually could agree that if you want to be a man, you're a man or woman, whatever, and get past the stupid bullshit and come together as one, that scares the shit out of these people. And I'm not just talking about this country. I'm talking about your country, wherever you're listening to this at. It's the same fucking thing. Their whole point is to keep us separated from one another. Like George Carlin said, it's a big club and you're not in it. Think about it, guys. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that, because I'm serious. It's all a plan. It's all a grand illusion to make us think or not think. Guess in closing, guys, just stay vigilant, seek truth, break free. I am your host, Don Q. Until next time, guys, please make sure you follow the show, whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, make sure you follow the show, you subscribe, whatever that button is. Follow the show on social media if you're on there. Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, on the Checker Talker, and of course on the Twitter X Machine, DTOM Podcast 1776. And if you're not on social media, that's fine. I completely understand. If you have any questions or anything you want to get with me about, you can hit me on those social media contacts, or you can email me, DonQ at Don't Tread on America. Go to the website, DontTreadonMerica.com, guys. I don't know how much longer we're going to be around. Seriously. Hit my dog tags. I don't know what we're long for in this world, because there's a lot of shit I'm seeing that gets me a little curious. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's everything. Until I'll probably be back Sunday. I don't think I'll do a show before then, but I'll be back Sunday. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you then. See you later. Peace.